मेरा बच्चा 5 साल का हो गया।
थोड़ा कनाडा से आने की खुशी।
हाँ क्या हुआ?
ये ले, no hard feelings.
What kind of Indian doesn't watch the India-Pakistan match?
A hard-working Indian.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Storyboard. Today we're going to look back at the year that was. Advertising may not be the only tool to market brands, but it is definitely the one that people easily connect to. 2013 will be remembered for commercials that broke duration records, formats and stereotypes, some with magical and emotional tales, some not so good, and some that were simply outstanding. We asked 17 creative heads to nominate 5 ads from outside the agencies that they thought were the best of the year. And they are Taproot India's Agnello Dias and Santosh Pandey, Happy Creative Services Karthik Iyer, DDB Mudra Group Sonal Dabral, BBGO India's Josie Paul, JWT's Swati Bhattacharya, Tista Sen and Senthil Kumar, Ogilvy's Abhijit Avasthi and Rajiv Rao, Publicis India's Bobby Pawar, Amita Kali and Malvika Mehra from Grey, KV Sridhar or Pops from Leo Burnett, Arun Iyer from Lowland Jazz, Creative Land Asia Sajan Rajkurup and Ashish Khazanchi from Enormous. Thanks for all your inputs. Let's take a look at the best ads of 2013 as picked by the industry's best.
ये गुंडापा का पहला बच्चा है जो 5 साल की उम्र तक पहुंचा है।
क्या?
Happy birthday यारा।
Hey, dear.
क्या यार? ये ले, no hard feelings.
हाँ।
एक बात बता, तुझे लड़कियां पसंद तो है ना?
तो जिस दिन वो मुझे हराएगा मैं जीत जाऊंगी।
बेटा थोड़ा आगे चल।
थोड़ा यार बे थोड़ा।
थोड़ा आगे चल।
Some outstanding work there. To understand why these were the best, we have Ogilvy's Piyush Pandey and Lowe's Balki, who will put it all in context, evaluate effectiveness, pick out and analyze trends, and help us understand where advertising is headed. Listen in.
You know, Piyush and Balki, when we started this exercise and I requested both of you to discuss the best work of the year, I had no way of knowing that the best work is going to be work only by the two of you. So I'm changing tack on what I wanted to discuss. And we'll sort of discuss some sort of overt trends that one can see. The first one, and I'm not going to use the phrase the death of the 30-second commercial, but the birth of the film without a length definition. Are we going to see more of that, Piyush?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I have noticed is finally the heart of communication is being underlined. And I think heart knows no lengths. And the new media has given us the opportunity of doing justice to what an idea requires. So lengths don't matter, impact matters. And if the kind of responses that some of these films have got, and we've all seen the numbers, is just that end of the day, somebody is recognizing that the heart of communication is not about 30 seconds and product windows.
So, what's your view on this new trend, Balki?
No, exactly what Piyush said, but to add a little bit, I find it amazing with all this piece of work and a lot of it on the net, that when, it's surprising that TV is obviously so much more expensive and this is almost a free media which is going on. You crave for so much impact on this media, and for something that you pay so much for, you're playing far safer with far less impact. And that craziness which is existing is going to be more and more apparent, because people are going to demand far more impact for the things that you pay for. Right. When you're getting so much here, why not get 5 times when you actually pay for media. It? Yeah.
So, but is that a freedom, a curse, or a blessing? In a sense,
it's a blessing.
It's a blessing.
Definitely, it's a blessing. It's almost like an illustration of the things that you can really do and why we are not doing. There must be questions which are going to be asked. So if you can do it here, why can't you do it here?
I think it's a blessing, and also it is a wake-up call. It is a wake-up call for advertisers to say that you're running a length, but are you getting full value out of it? And I hope people will realize that that getting the communication right is far more important than getting the length right.
Right. Now you look at some of the films of extraordinary length which have done really well. You know, whether it is your Gundappa, your Google search, and so on and so forth. One of the truths is there are some fantastic production values which are going into all these films which are successful. You know, because it's on digital, it does not make it cheap. So is that difficult to discuss with clients that it's going to be digital only or largely digital but an expensive production?
No, it is not, because I think it's, regardless of digital television, it's a film. And the film requires the production value it deserves, because people are seeing so much today. You need to be at your best, whichever medium that you're in. So I don't think the production value has ever been a problem as far as the media is concerned. It's just the length always.
Right.
I mean, like exactly what Piyush said, it's not about getting 20, 30-second spots. It's not about just things. It could be just one 300-second spot, which could kind of do a lot more than 10, 30-second spots. And I think that the real essence of communication, like he said, is being illustrated day in and day out by these examples.
You know, when in the older construct you got a brief, and the brief told you what secondage, the commercial should be. So everything, the scripting, the storyboarding, everything went to one. You have to see whether a 30-second spot can tell the story and so on.
There was a long period of time where people really understood that communication really mattered length. There's been a short period of time in between where suddenly the media becoming so expensive,
right.
People have lost sight of what has to be communicated, and it's all the secondage, and it's all people who believed in longer formats suddenly saying, no, I want a 25, I want 525, without thinking what it's all about. It's actually been a recent phenomenon. I mean, recent means the last 3-4 years more than in the past. So I think now you get briefs with 30 seconds and 20 seconds and all this stuff. But I think again it's coming back, right. Because now people are truly understanding its content. Even in advertising, it's content and not the duration which really matters. And right. I think the awareness, because all these clients who are today suddenly kind of scrambling for the 25 and 30 second spots have all been successful at doing what they believed was best.
Right.
And it's just a small short-term thing.
Also, one has found that if you are sincere, you are able to convince your clients that, okay, you wanted to spend 500 rupees. Who decides that it will be spent in this fashion? I will give you a great 50-seconder, and I'll give you 10-seconders. You wanted 20, I'll give you 10s as a reminder.
Yeah.
So that you don't have a kind of a bastardized story which is neither here nor there. So you have an impactful story and you have little reminders.
Right.
I mean, if I recall from the past, Fevikwik was original length with the fishing, and there was just a reminders just saying chutki mein chipkai. So
you can always wait out.
You can always wait out. I don't think that we are stupid enough to tell a client that I've got an idea which will make you spend 5x.
Right.
No. But I might have a point of view to share with you that if we balance it out in this fashion, maybe the impact that you'll get will be greater.
Right.
And also most clients are sensible when they see, you may have on the brief, it may be 30 seconds, 20 seconds. When you see a spot, see, there's a lot of talking that goes on. It's like I keep telling a lot of producers, PPM is a formal process.
Right.
But what you see has got nothing to do with what you discuss.
Right.
What you see is what matters.
Right.
So you do a PPM and do a film. They're two different processes.
Right.
It's like that. The secondage, you discuss everything right, try your best because you know the value of money. But finally, you'll be wasting that money if you don't do justice to the content. So you do the content, and then most clients are sensible enough to see that, hey, it works like this. The 5 seconds will harm it.
Right.
Because clients are actually as wise, if not wiser, than agencies.
Right. Now, both of you have used the word client about 5 times in the last 3 minutes together. If you look through what is common to all the sort of highest voted commercials, it's the biggest brands in the country virtually. There's no small brand which has won. You've gone through the list. So is that a factor at all? I'm trying to find something in common in all these, the most popular commercials of last year.
I think, yes, there is a thing that there might be some brave people at times who might do a good idea, a longer length idea, but it hasn't crossed the threshold of visibility. Today what you see, these things have, whether on the net or on air, have been present enough for people to take notice, to see the impact. Otherwise it becomes the same kind of thing ki jungle mein mor nacha kisne dekha. I did a great piece of work,
Correct.
showed it to Balki, ran it on Bhubaneswar TV at 2 o'clock at night and entered it for awards. Now these are believers. I mean, all these clients need to be saluted because they are believers, they believed in a certain piece of work and they gave it the kind of exposure that it requires. And they discovered that that exposure gave them a reward which was 100 times more.
Right.
Well, like take for example, yes, they are big clients, but you take the actual media spends on these clients, like Lifebuoy is not a great media spend.
Right.
It is just the cause is so big and how you mount it is very big. So people made it big.
Yeah.
It's not that we spent a lot of money.
True.
On the film, and I'm sure Google is the same way.
Same thing.
Same thing. There's not a lot of money spent. There may be big brands and people, but it's not actually media budgets.
That takes me to your earlier point which you were asking us that, but both these clients went and produced them the way the idea deserved it.
Right.
If you don't do that,
then
that's
you
where you're really shortchanging the idea.
The era of the long format commercial is here to stay. Let's take a quick break here. On the other side, the marketer's role in creating memorable campaigns. Welcome back. You're watching a Storyboard special that recaps the best advertising of 2013. With the worries of a choppy economy dampening marketing budgets, the big pressure was to make communication more cost-effective and yet maintain its appeal. The marketer's role in this context becomes even more crucial. Ogilvy's Piyush, Pandey and Lowe's Balki help us understand what makes for a good client and what fosters an amicable agency-client relationship.
On all these sort of great pieces of communication, have you found that within your clients itself, I mean, obviously you can't talk for other clients, that the client-agency interaction is a lot greater?
Oh, yes.
Is it that, the greatest piece of communication need greater interaction between your team and the client team?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you always produce the best work for people who value you more, and that's given. Finally, it's, like I keep saying, it's not between one building and the other building. You can't wave a check and say, give it to me or else. It doesn't work that way. You can wave a very small check and you can get the best work out of an agency, or you can wave a very big check and not get the best work out of an agency. It's just about, you want to do it for people. Yeah? It's not for organizations.
Right.
Yeah, brands are fine, brands are big. Sometimes on very big brands, we don't end up doing great work. It's also got, it's a function of who you're working with, both sides, agency as well as client.
And leap of faith, wherever there is leap of faith, there is greater interaction. Coming back to your question, that when I believe in something, I would want to share it with my client. I would want my client to understand it. The client thinks it's big. He would want to interact with us and say, hello, this is great. So where can we take it? So interaction improves, and interaction is a lot more productive in these cases rather than saying, have you covered these 3 points in my product window?
Right.
And also you sense now, when there are people who, fewer and fewer of them, when they treat advertising agencies or a problem or something like, as if, it's the least priority in his agenda and he's doing you a favor by actually giving you the stuff. There's few of them. You don't do it. Of course, you have to do it for business and all this stuff. You do your best foot forward, but it doesn't come right from within your heart.
Right.
Fortunately, majority of clients have truly understood that advertising doesn't happen out of something. It happens out of interaction, happens out of really motivating or making the person feel what my desire is.
Right.
The most beautiful advertising is created not so much between friends, as much as when you see a guy who you're so clear about, he's so clear, this is what I want, this is what I want it to be. He may not be able to give you a brief, but he can tell you a vision.
Right.
Okay, and that's all you need.
Also, you were talking about what else do you see in these 10 commercials that you have identified? That
no, we have not identified. It's been identified
when I say you,
by a set of creative directors.
Whoever has identified. Right. I have not.
Right.
You used to say I have not.
Right. Okay.
Nor has he. The standard product window theory is dead. Because if you look at all these, products are woven into the message. Products are integral to these pieces of communication without having a window in between, which suddenly disappears in the minds of the people. I remember a client recently telling me, in a research situation, somebody said, I was seeing this lovely piece of communication of yours, But then one ad came in between. What he meant was the product window.
Yeah. So, are you in consonance with Piyush that the importance of the product window, that, you know, again, that used to be part of a brief, that the product window must come and then it must sign off with a logo.
See, I don't think he means there's no product window like that, but he means, I think,
Woven.
It should be part. Your story is around the product.
Right.
Just if a commercial is not a product window, it's not a commercial.
Right.
Okay. So obviously the whole story is a product window for the product.
Correct. So is it that the whole story is a product window and not
It has
just
to be.
showing consumption?
Any of these commercials,
Or the message.
The message is a product window.
If you look at two different things, if we look at the Google reunion, it is product, but woven,
Right.
not a cutaway. On the other hand, if you see Gundappa, it is a message which engages, involves, gets you to think, now where are we going? And when with a one-liner you say, this is it, it is woven into the entire thing. So it is not about how many seconds of product messages you will have. If at the end of the day people don't say that I love this film for Lifebuoy or I love this film for Google, then you have lost the plot. And no standard good old days product window can ensure you that.
Absolutely right. And also, I think what he's saying is so right. What the medium and the length, format, all the stuff you're discussing, actually it's ending one thing. It's the end of cliches in advertising. Okay. And I think holding relevant interest and making sure people remember what they are interested in is the purpose of communication. So if you're not interesting, first you won't be engaging them. And they don't remember what they have been interested in, again it's a failure. So cliches, all these terms of like product windows, you know, what is the high point and the low point and the this point. There are lots of things which I don't understand. Which second does it peak? Where does it come? Where is the anticlimax, climax? All these things, I've never understood them. All the cliches which people say are out. Okay. Maybe there are some products where you just need to talk about the 750% calcium in it, which will kind of give you bones like nothing under the sun. Simply say it exactly and get out because you don't need to say anything else.
Right.
True. But that's the story of the product. So say it. You can't get a better story than that.
Right.
But it is the end of cliches.
Right. I'm going to ask you, not just for those commercials which have been made for digital release, but for TV release as well. Now everybody uploads it onto YouTube immediately. And then there's pressure because YouTube gives you, data by the hour, so many views, so many views, so many views. Does that in any way put pressure on you that, oh God, if I don't get 1 million views or 500,000 views, is that of concern to you?
See, it has never concerned me because numbers don't always tell you the impact on people unless the numbers are so staggering that so many people are sharing. And that you know by the feel. I don't think it's, otherwise it will be a new form of link test.
Right.
I'll tell you a perfect example. Like, you don't need numbers like the idea Honey Bunny. You don't need numbers or anybody telling you how popular that thing is. Everybody sang Honey Bunny in the country. So that's it. I don't need to touch YouTube. I don't need to know anybody's judgment on whether it is good because people are saying that. So you know the popularity of something, you know the pulse of something. And because sometimes numbers also happen because of a campaigning on the numbers. There are ways to pump in the numbers, the ways to make people see them, make things which come naturally, what happens.
Also, I think to add to what Balki is saying, you must go into the quality of comments that people make. You read 20 of those and you know whether you're happening or you're not happening.
But that can be gamed. I mean, for example, your competition can fill it up, which happens on trade sites.
That's why I said.
Which I don't want to.
That's why I said, it is not about how many people commented. In between the lines, a guy who's writing from the heart and a guy who's writing to kill you, you will know.
You know who's the other agency guy doing it. Like, 3 Sardars composing Honey Bunny for a wedding kind of a song. I mean, nobody is going to take the pain to kind of shoot and put it out there. There must be some lots of, hundreds of people who've done that. So you know, like Google, the effect. Like he said, when he went to Lahore, he met he met the sweet owner, and sweet stall owner, and he was waiting with them flowers. They are really touching moments.
Right.
This you can't replicate through numbers and things like that.
And it's not for just the likes of Balki and me to know. When a buzz is happening, you will know, your neighbor will know,
everybody will know.
Industry will know, your client and his team and his sales force will know. So I think those things you know, and you don't have to count them.
Okay. Now to close sort of this part of the show, I'm going to ask you one question which strikes me. Both of you are unfortunately involved with this client, which is Unilever. they seem to be pushing the envelope on communication in all form and manner, which is very different from 10 years ago. You wouldn't expect that. When we speak about product window or speak about all these high points and low points and so on, and for example, what is the measurability of your gundappa or your chapati before it happened? But somebody's bought the idea. So there's a change in the way FMCG companies are viewing communication.
Of course, and I think Unilever has been at the forefront of this for quite some time. But what they are very good at is never to lose the reality in the quest for upping anything, upping standards.
Yeah.
See, when you do a gundappa, there are enough germ commercials which are being done on the ground.
Right.
There are some 25 things you don't see, but
True.
all of them are damn effective.
Right.
You can't just show off your communication. You can't say, hey, I've evolved, without addressing various. One chapati cannot address the problem, one gundappa cannot address the
Correct.
problem.
Right.
Absolutely.
You need all those things to address various people. Lifebuoy doesn't sell because of gundappa. Lifebuoy
Absolutely.
sells because of a lot of other things,
Absolutely.
which they're doing. They have masters at that.
I think it's beautifully put by Balki. I just want to say that the appetite for innovation at Unilever is at a huge high.
Right.
So if I'm doing the standard stuff, I'm willing to do a gundappa.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm willing to do a roti.
Right.
I'm willing to do many other things. I'm willing to start this project Sunlight.
Right.
You have to earn the right to do a certain thing. You can't just. And Unilever is very clear of when a brand is right for what. And
True.
Some valuable lessons there for marketers, advertisers, and everyone in the communications business. That's all from us this week, or rather this year. I'll see you in 2014. From the entire Storyboard team, season's greetings and a very happy new year.